Hello everyone. Today I was thinking to discuss about the principle of flotation. Now we have seen that some bodies they submerge entirely under the surface of water, and some objects are there which float amidst the surface of the water, and some are there which completely and entirely sinks um, down below the surface of water. So what are the three reasons that an object behaves like that when placed on liquid surfaces in three different ways? Um, well, we know that an object floats because of the difference of densities of object and the liquid on which it is floating. It floats mainly because of the lesser density than the liquid. So this is about flotation of an object. Now why does an object sink entirely inside the liquid? Again, it is because of the difference in the densities of the object and the liquid. The density of the object is much more than the liquid, so the object sinks at the bottom of the liquid. Now, when an object is floating, either it is floating totally above the surface of the water, or it is floating when it is the most of the object is below the surface of water. So these are the two cases which we see when an object floats. So as you can see that I have drawn three diagrams based on the principle of flotation. The first diagram is for the case when the object is just below, it is floating and it is just below the surface of water. Then what happens? Two forces which are always acting while floating, while flotation are the weight of the object acting downward and the buoyant force, which is also known as the upthrust, which pushes the object on the surface and which helps it to float. So when density of the body is equal to the density of the liquid, body floats and it is just inside the liquid surface. So this is the first diagram. This is explained by the first diagram. The second diagram I have already explained that when an object entirely sinks inside the liquid, then what happens? What is the case? First of all, the density of the object is much more than the density of the liquid, and when density of a body is greater than the density of liquid, the body sinks. And the third case is when the body floats partly submerged when density of body is less than the density of liquid. So it is partly submerged and partly it is on above the surface of water. So this is the principle of flotation of any object we see on water. Either it is floating, a small portion of the object is below the surface of water. As we can see on any river bank, a boat, as we see the boats or ships are afloat on the surface of water. The reason behind is that only that the average density of the sheet is much more lesser than the density of water, and hence it floats. Okay, so these are the main three cases of the principle of flotation, and I have drawn the diagram. And if you want to have a closer look, I just can bring the mobile phone closer to my whiteboard. You can see the diagrams I have drawn. I am bringing it closer to the first diagram to have a closer look. You can see this diagram. This is the first case. As you can see that an object is just below the surface of water. I am bringing closer to the second case where you can see that the object is at the bottom of the container. It has sunk entirely. Okay? Yeah. Now I am bringing closer to the third case where it is partly submerged, as you can see, and in all the cases the two forces are acting. You can see the weight which is acting downward and the upthrust which actually pushes the body upward to keep it afloat. Is it clear? Okay, I am putting back my mobile camera to its place. So I think this is a very interesting phenomenon, that why objects float. And if he just walks inside a river, he is going to sink. Okay, but for keeping us afloat, we have to swim, or we have to apply the process of just taking our breath outside the lungs, so that our average density becomes lesser and we can float on the surface of the water. And it is the first step of swimming that we learn to keep us afloat on the surface of water, and then we start actually learning the method to swim. So this is the thing, that the density is the main reason why a substance floats and why a substance sinks. This is very interesting phenomenon, and as I get to know this phenomenon, this has attracted me. So I thought of making this presentation in order to discuss this. I hope you enjoyed. Let me see the next topic, the presentation that I am going to present before you in a very interesting manner. Okay, so till then, goodbye. We will meet in the next project. Bye bye for now.